Good morning. Hey, it's Kirk Duncan, and welcome to our training today. Super good to be with you. And I have been thinking about you for days and days and days, and have prepared some incredible content for you to help you as a coach and as you are teaching and helping other people. And if you're not a coach, let's say you are here because you are a parent, you have kids, and you want to help your kids. You're going to learn a lot today. If you're a manager, you are going to learn skills today that's going to help you with your management of people. If you're here for yourself because you are in the personal development world and you want to be better, do better, and be able to produce better, this is going to be phenomenal for you too. So this is going to be great. It's going to be very insightful and practical in how you use what you're going to learn here today. It's going to make a difference because you are human. And as a human, you are caught in patterns. You are caught in habits. And not all of your patterns and habits are doing good for you. Some of them just don't work. And so they affect your overall results and your overall status of life. So I'm great. It's great to be here with you, and it's great to be able to share what I've been learning over the last 18 years of coaching. And this is going to be awesome. So let's do a mic check. Tell me in the chat box, go to the chat box in your Zoom toolbar, go to the chat box and say hello, or hey, Kirk, your microphone's working, or beautiful day. Say something. Hey, Jeanette, Shauna, Christy, Cherie, Shamala, Jareen, Shelly, Karen, Marcy, Laura. Holy cow, now it's starting to come through fast. Grant. Okay, now it's flying in there really super fast. Good to have you here. I'm excited to share with you today. Tell me you're ready. You're ready? You got a piece of paper, you got a notebook, got your screenshot, your camera ready, right? It's like, let's do this. So I have loved my journey. Thank you for all the comments. I'm glad you can hear me. I have loved my journey. I've loved my journey over the last 18 years of what I've been able to do. Never, ever, ever in a million years would I have seen this happening. My mind has been opened. My eyes have been opened to my own potential. When I was going to high school, I did not have on my mind, hey, I'm going to become a presenter, a trainer, a coach. That was not on my mind. What was on my mind was to become an architect. That's what I was taking classes to become an architect, and I was going to build buildings. But my life changed, and now I'm an architect with people. That's what I do now. I'm an architect with people instead of an architect with buildings. And so I love it. And it's just amazing what happens when your potential opens up, your vision of who you are opens up. It's really cool what you can do with your life when you get who you are. And, each of us have our own gifts and talents we can use to make a difference. And wow, when we tap into that and we get in alignment, right? Alignment. When we get in alignment, we can become unstoppable. When we're not in alignment, wow, can we get stopped by the smallest thing, the smallest moment, the smallest comment? We can just get stopped by a pebble in the road. And so I'm going to be talking about how to help you, how you can help your clients have breakthrough experiences and unlock that potential. And again, if this is for you, great. If this is for your kids, if this is for your spouse, if this is for your team, if this is for your office, wherever you're going to apply this, from this point on, I'm going to call you a coach. So you are coaching people, meaning you have instruction, you have guidance, you have a plan, you have a strategy, and we're going this way, and you're going to help other people open up their mind, open up their eyes, unlock their potential, right? Good. So from this point on, I'm going to talk to you as though you are a coach, no matter what status you are in right now. Okay, so over the years, I've had a great opportunity to teach. It's been over 18 years now of being a facilitator, a seminar leader, I've held seminars every month for 15 years. 15 years I've done seminars every single month. It's been eye-opening to work with that many audiences. I mean, take 15 and times it by 12. That's how many big audiences I've been in front of. But then I've done so many other trainings in person and online. It's like well over, I need to update this. It says 6,100. Yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot. So I'm in it. I'm in it because I love it. And I know this is my calling in life. And I'm grateful to be able to be in this position in my life, to be able to help people and pass along what I've learned, what I've experienced by literally working with thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of people. It has taught me what works and what doesn't work. And I do one-on-one coaching. If you're looking for a coach, you just found him. I'm right here. So I'm available. If you want to work with me, wow, let's reach out, say something so we can work together. I'd love to help you. So every person is moving forward. Let's just get into this. Every person is moving forward and they're wanting something to improve, right? There's something they wish that was different. And we have a tendency that as we're moving forward, we find something that stops us. And so this arrow through this presentation is going to point the direction that you or your client is heading. This is going to be a symbol of something that stops you. And it could be described as a wall, or you could explain this as feeling stuck, or I feel like I'm up against something, or just something stopping me. But you can still see what you want, but for some reason you can't get it. It's just there. It's like something. It's something. It's been described in many, many different terms of what this is and what it looks like. Over my years of coaching over the last 18 years has taught me there's a way to find out what's going on. There's like an equation. There's a process to discover the dynamics of what's happening to the individual, the dynamics. And as a coach, I've learned how to look at those dynamics and ask questions to unravel the mystery of why they don't have the goal that they want. And that's what the star is the goal, the outcome, the result that they want. That there is a mystery of like, why can't I get there? But there is a way to unravel it and to be able to find what has you stuck or what has you up against a wall and why you have not yet accomplished that. When I go back to this right here and I look at these accomplishments, this is a snapshot of all the different things I've done in the last 18 years. All of these right here were all stars. Like, oh, I wish I could do that. I really want to do this. And so I've put myself through this process over and over and over and over and over again to get me through those emotional feelings of feeling stuck, the mental feelings of coming up against a wall to get there. I've had to go through this myself to be able to accomplish this. This was not easy. It's just not easy. It's difficult to progress. And I'm going to explain why. And then we're going to talk about the breakthroughs, the 3 ways to help your client break through. We're going to get to that because I want to show you how you break through something like this, no matter who you are, no matter where you've come from, no matter how you've been raised, no matter what your culture is, how to get these kind of results. I'm not saying you have to do what I'm doing. I'm just saying, get what you want to get, go where you want to go, do what you want to do, but live on the other side of the wall. Not this side. Live on the other side. Get there to be able to get through this wall. So let me tell you a secret to life. A secret to life is to learn how to get through this wall and to achieve the star, whatever it is for you, and then to keep going. Like, keep going. But to be able to get through this is what you want to learn and do and emulate and be an example of. To be an example of, I can find the wall, I see where I'm stuck, and I can get through it, and I can get to where I want to go. To be able to do that is so liberating. Absolutely liberating to be able to do this over and over and over again. Because for this to happen, and this, again, this is only on the business side of my life. It's not my personal life, all the other things that have happened in my personal life. But to be able to accomplish these things didn't just happen. I had to get through my mental walls, get through my emotional blocks, get through the stuff that stops me and stops others. Everybody gets stuck somewhere. So to me, as a coach, number one, learn this for yourself. Number two, everybody's up against something. Something's blocking their way. Something's in the way, and they don't know what it is. And they don't know how to get through it. You talk to anyone, you get talking to them about their life and what's going on and where they're at, and they're going to finally tell you, wow, there's this one area of my life that something's up, and they can't figure it out. They don't know, which I find fascinating because this is such a gigantic human challenge and human thing to go through, is to have the dynamics of, I'm stuck, I'm stopped, I've lost motivation, I'm not making it, Kirk. And all you have to do is look at people trying to raise their income or people trying to lose weight. Income and weight, two very, very gigantic topics, right? How to raise your income, how to lose weight. Now, there are people who are like, oh, I figured it out, but that's like less than 1% have figured out both. It's crazy, but it's like, and then you talk about relationships, you talk about all these other goals, all these other things. So the dynamics of this is like one of the mysteries of life, to figure out, what do I do? When do I do those steps? How do I do those steps? And how do I know when to adjust? So my 18 years of experience has taught me this is the cat's meow. This is the thing to learn about what's going on. And part of this learning this is there's this beautiful thing in our head called our brain, right? We have this brain, we have this heart. The heart's going to be a symbol of emotion. The brain's going to be the symbol of thoughts today. And there's this word called mindset. And you hear it, you hear mindfulness, mindset, all kinds of words like focus, alignment. It all points to the same thing, as like what's going on inside your head. Then you hear people talk about positive thoughts, positive attitude, negative attitude. You hear all kinds of, descriptions about this, but it's true. We can be around people who have a positive, optimistic way of thinking. That's a different kind of person. Then you have people who are of the negative type of thinking. They're pessimist about everything. Everything's bad. Everything's terrible. The sky is falling. It's the end of the world. And so it's really a big, big difference between the two. So you and I both know that both of these types are out there. All right, we get that part. Now, the part that's fascinating, though, that this is where the people disconnect, is they don't realize that how you are on the inside then projects to the outside. This principle right here still is not understood by people. They don't realize that how you are on the inside actually comes out of your body. Like, you can't hide what's going on inside. You can't hide it. It comes out through mood. It comes out with tone, the types of words that you use, the types of actions that you do or don't do. Whatever's going on inside comes to the outside. And if you're still like, what does that mean? Well, with different people, how they're just different. You can have one person that's enjoyable to be around and another person who's not enjoyable, because whatever's going on inside of them comes to the outside. And this is an important principle to understand, because then it shows why it's so important to manage what's going on inside. So let's say this is going on inside. Well, we can probably pick out people who are like that, who are grumpy, who are snippy, who are critical, who are judgmental, who put people down. They have words that are not good for the other people to hear. And they're just tough to be around, right? They're just tough to be around. It's like, oh, it's exhausting, it's draining. And then you feel like whooped on after you're around them because of the way they talk. And it's sad that what's inside comes to the outside. Really important principle. Oh, I just realized I didn't have my camera on. Really important principle to realize is that whatever's on the inside does come to the outside. So when a person is trying to figure out, why am I stuck? Here's the challenge. Guess where they look? They look around them for the reason why they're stuck. They look around them. They don't look inside themselves. They look around them. And guess what they find? What they find is when they look around them, they find people. And they're like, oh, look, hey, there's a person. Oh, you're the reason why I'm stuck. Oh, look, there's another person. And as soon as they find people around them, guess what they do is they blame the person. And now the challenge is, what the real problem is what's going on inside, but they're blaming the people around them as the reason why they're stuck. Their kids, their spouse, their boss, their job, their neighborhood, their whatever, but it's everything around them is the reason. So part of causing a breakthrough for your clients is to turn the thinking of the reason why they are stuck, the source of their reason of why they're stuck is on the inside, not the outside. Now, great coaches know this, do this. Now, if you're not doing this, this is a time to become great. Become great as a coach. And as people go to blame others around them as the reason why they are up against a wall, you get to redirect their thinking. Now, it is common for the person you are coaching. It is very common for them to blame others because they have not been taught how it really works. They've not been taught that the actual source is from the inside. That is where the real true block or stuck originates. Now, it can originate inside, and then that now moves between them and another person. And now they've got the same negativity between them and somebody else. And now it seems like it's the person, but they are the one who put that type of block between them and the other person. So they actually created that themselves. But the main point here is the origin of a block or a stuck feeling originates on the inside and it projects to the outside. It's one of the first opportunities you have to help someone is to change the way that they think in how they're seeing this. Because if you allow them to continue to blame the other person on the outside as the reason why they're stuck, then they become powerless. Because they're in this place of going, I can't do anything until this person changes. So now they were powerless. And a powerless person becomes stopped. They literally get stopped. Not just stuck, they stop because now they don't have power to move forward. And this all comes because they're looking around themselves for the source of why they're stuck. And that's very natural for people to do because they have not been taught how this works. And so we literally have a majority of people who look around them for the reason why they're experiencing this stuck feeling. But you as a coach, you know, and are learning right now that it is essential to point out that what goes on inside of a person projects outward. And if they want something to change in their life, they have to change what is going on inside. For things to change, I must change. For things to get better, I must get better. That is a responsible mindset. That is a responsible way to live. And so as a coach, you can't get a breakthrough with a client if they are in blame mode. If they're upset with the people around them and saying that they can't move forward because of him or her or whoever, they're powerless. And so if you try to coach this person to take steps, to do their action steps, to work towards their goal, and they do this, they blame other people of why they are where they're at, they can't make it. They can't. They might get a percentage of their goal, but they can't get 100% because they lack the power to be able to do it. They lack the motivation. They lack the ability. So this is one of the first parts that really catches me when I'm coaching is I got to listen to the people I'm coaching and ask myself, are they blaming anyone or anything else? Or do they take responsibility and go, yep, it comes from me. I need to own this. I've got to get better. And if once they start to turn and like, yeah, I get it, Kirk, I got to get better. Once they're in this space of like, yep, something's in me, something's blocking me, something's stirring in my brain, my heart, something's up. Something's up. I got to figure this out. This person is now on the path to a breakthrough. Because once you change what's going on inside, that change is multiplied. It's not just one area of life. It's all areas of life. Everywhere you throw a positive way of thinking, it comes from the brain. The brain is the center part of this whole entire thing. This person is the center of all these different activities going on in their life. And so when you change the core, the center, the origin, everything is impacted. And so a true transformation is when a whole life is changed. And the whole life is changed because the center or origin is where the change happened. It's the epicenter. So as a coach, that's what I target. I target the origin, the epicenter, the center of the being. Because if I could get into the center of who this person is and help them see what is going on, and I can help them see what is blocking their energy, their thinking, their creativity, and we can remove that block and we can strengthen what is in there, that is a transformed life. Not only a goal achieved, like one goal achieved, but if a person can get through a block and achieve a goal, they then can work on other areas of their life with that same momentum. And that's what I love about coaching is I'm not just coaching on the outside edge. I'm not an outside edge coach. I'm an epicenter transformation coach. I'm like, let's get to the core. Let's get to the origin. Let's get to the center where it all is coming from. Yes, I can coach people to make more money. Yes, I can coach them to be better with time management and relationships and food and with their relationship with God and their education, their fitness, their work. I can help them in all these categories. And I have. But I realize what really makes a complete change in another person's life is to follow the trail back to the source. What is in there that is blocking this person from living who they actually are designed to be? I love that they set goals out here, and I'm going to help them with the goals out here, but I am targeting what is in this core. That's what I look for. That's what I search for. That's what I'm listening for. That's what all the techniques that I teach and use as a coach is doing, is uncovering the power inside the person. Uncover the power. You hear me use the word uncover. It's because something's up. Something's in there. Something's going on, because every human being has the power to literally be a creator. But when their creator side is blocked, they then live a repeater life, meaning they do the same thing they did yesterday, the same thing last week. And they literally are just going around in circles over and over and over again. And that is a way to live, but it's not fulfilling. It's not fulfilling. And this person sooner or later realizes, wait a minute, there's more to my life, but I can't do it. And so I want to help uncover the creator side of this individual, but I first have to stop them from blaming and show them, hey, just so you know, it's not them. Sure, they might play a role, but you're the larger percentage of what's going on here. You're the larger percentage. And we got to change what's going on inside you, because then what you give off will change. And what that is called the vibe, the vibration, the energy, the mood that you give off, that your client gives off, the vibe. And inside, you can have the vibe be a big ball of negativity or a big power source of goodness. So the vibe comes from what's going on inside. That's where the source is. That triggers what comes off of the person. Now, if you've ever walked into a room where somebody's in a bad mood, their vibe has come out of their body and filled up the room. And that's what you feel in the room, is all these little arrows is the vibration coming from the person. And if you're new to this whole concept of vibe or mood or energy or whatever's coming from the person, whatever you want to call it, it's real. All you have to do is stand next to a person and you can feel something different from them. From every person, there's a different vibe. If somebody's nervous, you can feel the nervousness. If somebody's super happy and optimistic, you can feel it. Not only see it, but you can feel it. And if somebody's really hurting and they're hating on life, you can feel it. It's this draining, sucky energy. So everybody gives off a vibe, and the vibe comes from what's going on inside, and nobody can escape this. No one can get away from having a vibe unless you're dead. Then your literally vibe or your energy source separates from your body and goes somewhere. So that's the only way you can get away from this. But here's the thing. Once your energy source separates from your body, now you're just pure vibe without flesh. So you can't get away from your vibe. And so I coach my clients of like, hey, we got to work on what's going on inside. Your vibration is off. It's off. And your vibration is causing problems because it's off. When I say off, it means like it is out of balance. It is out of alignment. You're giving off a vibe that is not healthy to the people and the things around you, and it's causing problems. That can happen. But I hear people say, but Kirk, I'm positive. I'm glad you're positive, but you got mud on your positive. And you might be in avoidance of your negativity, or that you're hurt. You're either negative or you're hurt, or both. But you can be positive, but you also can have a messy vibe. So part of a breakthrough is to get this vibe in alignment so that what's going on the inside is in a good space. Once a person gets in alignment, they now can literally think clearly. Do you know the power of thinking clearly? Thinking clearly makes you can think through something and make better decisions. So if you can think and make better decisions, what happens next? Better results. Think, make decisions, better decisions, you get better results. So it makes sense that we would want to improve what's going on the inside, because that affects our thinking. That affects your thinking. And so if what's going on the inside is cluttered with other things, other negative things, or whatever hurt or anger, or whatever's going on, if you're cluttered, you're not thinking clearly. And so your decisions are less than optimal. You have lower level decisions that you're making. That's why you're getting lower level results. Once we start to talk about this, it makes sense. You think, and the level of the quality of thinking you have then affects the quality of decisions, which then affects the quality of your results. Thinking, decisions, results. Thinking, decisions, results. And so if you're messy on the inside, or if you're out of alignment on the inside, you're going to continue to make lower quality decisions, which then you keep getting lower quality results. So if you're getting low quality results, we follow that equation backwards. You've got stuff going on inside of you. Your client has things going on inside of them they need help with. And I'm going to show you the 3 ways to cause a client to have a breakthrough. And you can do the same thing. But we need to do this with our clients so that they can have breakthroughs. And when I say breakthrough, we're talking like the center of them changes. Not just a breakthrough in finances, not just a breakthrough in a schedule that held strong over a week's time. I mean, that's great. But what if it slips back to where it was? What if somebody has one good month and they never have a good month again financially? What does that mean? Well, it means they accomplished the goal on the edge, the fringe. They did not change on the inside. They did the work to get it, but they didn't change. See, I like to coach about change, transformation. I'm talking about internal change so that the external continues to produce. That's when you know there's really a change, is when the external continues to produce. That's what I love to do. I love coaching like this. I love being like this and being able to think this way. And it took me years to figure this out, but it's so good how this all works. And I'm going to show you those 3 ways of how to help a client have a breakthrough. But these underlying principles are super important to go through, or you're going to try to coach your client and your client's in blame mode. And while your client is in blame mode, you're going to be like, why are they not doing well? Like, what's going on? So I've learned that if the client is in blame mode, I am not going to be talking about anything else until we get this nipped. This has to stop. This has to be different. I have to help them that what goes on inside radiates to the outside. And until they get that point, whatever else I teach them is not going to work. because they'll just end up blaming somebody else. So this is where I start. I listen to see if they are blamers or if they're complainers or if they just push it off on somebody else all the time. And then if so, we got to have this discussion and talk about this. So your client who is not moving forward with what you're teaching them so far, there's a good chance that they're doing some blaming. Now, not all blamers, one more thing, and I'll move off this slide. Not all blamers actually say it out loud. There's a whole nother group of people who actually blame inside their mind, but they never say it. So there's external blamers. There's internal blamers. So even though you don't hear it coming out of their mouth, you got to listen closely for them excusing themselves of what they were going to do because of somebody else. It's like this very subtle blaming. But there are people who are terrible blamers inside their head, but they never really fully, completely say it out loud, but you can hear the subtleness of it because they excuse themselves because of somebody else of what happened. So catch them, bust them on this, call it out, talk about this, express to them that the way they're being is that they're not going to be able to change because it's always somebody else. They need to start to take more responsibility and go, whoa, it's in me. I've got to change some of the ways I'm thinking so that I can affect everything that's around me. Okay, good. Okay, good. Okay, so as I've been coaching, and when I say coaching, I'm talking like big rooms of people, even though some people call these seminars, it's like group coaching. So doing group coaching with 1,000 people, right? I'm teaching principles. I then allow the audience to ask questions. They throw a bunch of questions at me. I explain what's going on. I answer their questions, and then we move on to the next step. Because the audience has questioned me so much over 18 years, because they just have questions, it's helped me refine what it is that I teach to know for sure that it works. Because I have plenty of feedback that comes back to me. When you teach a room of 1,000 people every month for 15 years, you get a lot of feedback. I get a lot of feedback of if it works, if it doesn't work, if it's stupid or if it's good. And so my refinement has taught me what to teach you and what not to teach you. And then even being on TV. I mean, I'm going to stick my face on TV. I better know what I'm talking about. And it's great because, when I talk to psychologists or therapists or counselors or, owners of companies and they hear what I have to say, I love it because they affirm that the way I'm looking at it, the way I'm teaching it is literally spot on. Now, something I want to give you before I jump into the 3 ways to break through. I don't know if you're subscribed to my weekly newsletter. I don't know if you've been part of this yet or get in on this. But type this in, 3ke.2 how to coach. Go there and subscribe to my weekly newsletter. It's called How to Coach. And it's 2 decades of experience you can digest in 2 minutes. It's really easy to read, very insightful, and it's there for you every single week. It's every Tuesday. Takes you 2 minutes to digest it, and you'll get really great content, insight, eye-opening thoughts to be able to help you as a coach. But go here, 3ke.2/how to coach, so you don't miss that newsletter that happens every single Tuesday. It's really cool. It's really fun. And when you go there, you'll be able to go and see some of these other articles that have come out, the other newsletters that we've put out, and lots to catch up on. And you can consume as much as you want. It's really, really good. So I don't know. I just want to put this in here because I don't know if you're part of that yet, but if you're not, get in there, get on. And so you can stay connected with me as we're moving forward and we're becoming great coaches, right? Okay. Very, very, very cool. Okay. So this about the vibe that comes from us. So the transformation we're going to do, the breakthroughs we're going to do for our clients will have an inside effect. So you see that I'm pointing that we need to be looking on the inside for us to have a transformation, to be able to have a change. So in doing so, people are wondering, okay, how do I do this? How do I make a difference in the direction I'm going? Now, everybody's on a path in their life, and they're all headed towards what they already have, unless they make a change, unless they can see a change, right? Like, here's the seeing of the change, like, oh, I can see something else. And if they can see that there's something else that they could accomplish, experience, be part of, then now we have hope that this person is actually going to apply some effort, because any type of transformation requires effort. And it's smart to let your client know, hey, this is going to take some energy. It's going to take some time. You're going to have to do it over and over and over again to be able to make this work for you. And so when you're talking to your client and you're like, hey, do you see what you want? Yeah, I see what I want. Okay, are you willing to do what it takes? And usually the client will say, yeah, I'm willing to do what it takes. But they have no idea what that means. They have no idea what it means to do what it takes to get to a goal, but they agree to it. So I'm going to help you as a coach, because the path of doing what it takes to change a person's results, that transformation path, has some steps to it. So I'm going to show you the path, and then I'm going to teach you the techniques, because I want to make sure you get the whole picture here. Because if I only give you the 3 breakthrough techniques, you're gonna fall flat on your face as a coach along the path, because maybe you don't know what this path is and what it looks like. So I'm going to show you the path that your client is going to go through. And then I'm going to show you the techniques that they use while they're going down the path. So every person who wants to create something different in their life has the same path, the same. That's what's so good about this, is it's the same for everyone. It's not different because of whatever the person's upbringing is. It's the same path to be able to transform and change something in their life from where they're at to where they want to be. So this is the path, and I'm going to explain it to you. Okay, make sure you get a picture of this. Make sure and now, are you okay if I show you this kind of stuff? Because sometimes I go way too deep, or I go too much. And sometimes people make fun of me, like, okay, Kirk, too much information. But to me, it's like, I want to know the path. So I figure, since I want to know the path, I'm guessing you want to know the path. And then I want to know, well, what do I do? And then I'm going to show the techniques you use to create the breakthrough. But this is the breakthrough journey. Okay, this is the journey. Okay, so let's talk about this. All right, where's my arrow? Arrow. I lost my arrow. Hold on just a moment here. Well, I'll borrow this one. Okay, so what we want to look at here is the journey of a breakthrough. So one of the changes that happens from their common path, because this is the path they're heading down, this is the path that they want to go through. But if they don't know what they're going to get into or go through, sometimes they get lost along the way. So one of the first steps upwards is to get an education about how to do a breakthrough. You know, education on, okay, what's this going to look like? Also an education about the goal. Whatever they want to be different, they have to start studying. Meaning, if they want to let go of 10 pounds, every day they have to be reading articles or a book or watching videos to raise the education about how to let go of 10 pounds. If you don't have them increase their education on a daily basis, they will get to this point and fall back to their regular patterns. And I don't know why, but coaches miss this point. They think because a person set a goal that the person knows enough to get that goal. The very first step of failure to get a goal is a lack of increased education about the goal they want. You have to fill your head with as much information as possible about the thing you want or want to do. You have to increase the education, or the mind just goes right back to what it was doing and stay right on the same path. So when a client says, "Oh, I never got my goal." Okay. What did you do yesterday to increase your education? Nothing. It's the same answer every time I'm coaching. It's a lack of education about the goal. Now, as a coach, do not skip this. This is absolute critical that your client every day is taking 15 to 30 minutes and studying something in relation to the goal. If they are not studying, guess what's happening? They are expecting you to make the goal happen. That's what they expect. Oh, they hired you as a coach? You're supposed to do it. It's like, no, I'm here to coach you on what to do to get it. So an increase of education, and then ask them, what did you learn yesterday? What did you learn last week from your education about the goal that you have set? Huge skipped piece. And what's crazy is people don't think of it themselves. And then a majority of coaches don't even talk about this. But it is the step that changes the direction of the mind. It changes the direction because what you consume, you now have. And now that you have that, you can use it. So consume the education about the topic or the goal or whatever that they're wanting to accomplish. Education has to happen. Then the second missed step is application of what they've learned to accomplish this goal, is actually doing it. Oh, so to exercise, you need to actually exercise. Did you exercise? No. Or how long did you exercise? 2 minutes. Okay. We need to have more application than what's going on right now. So there must be an increase in education about the goal and then an increase of application of the goal. But notice what's connected to application. This is the next gigantic big step that is skipped, is correction. Just because they learned and they're doing it doesn't mean that they're doing it right. Sure, they can do it and claim that it's right, but there's lots of people who know how to correct you. You want to help your client know you're going to study, you're going to apply what you're doing, and you will get corrected. Let your client know for transformation to happen, you have to correct what it is you're doing because you are a newbie at this. You are a greenie. You are spanking new and you are not good at this. You can become good, but you need to learn and do and be corrected. Now, I'll tell you right now, 90% of coaches don't tell their client, hey, I'm going to fix what you're doing. We're going to change what you're doing. We're going to correct what you're doing. They don't even do this. They don't even talk about this. They don't even go to this level. So no wonder clients of coaches are not happy because they're not getting transformation, because most coaches don't even know this, have no clue the path of transformation. Education an increase of education, an increase of application, and literally looking for correction. Hey, how do I do this better? What do I need to adjust? What do I need to do better here? But to look for the correction. And this goes for everybody. This goes for you. It goes for everybody. If you're not looking for correction, you're doing something wrong. You're missing it. And maybe you're doing it 87%, but you're still missing 13%. You're missing it. If you're not looking for correction, you're doing it wrong. And you're missing out on the full potential of what you could be experiencing. Okay, then after correction, now there needs to be some focus skills. Because now at this point, you have changed this person's thinking. They're going a whole new direction, and they have a strong pull to go back to what they were doing, because this is like way out of their comfort zone. They're like, whoa, what am I doing? Like I'm heading a whole new direction. My feet are off the ground. We are moving. At this point, if there are no focus skills being used, and that's what I'm going to show you, is 3 focus skills to maintain the trajectory that this person is heading. If the focus skills are missing, this person will guaranteed sabotage their progress. It is a guarantee. They then, from this point, will drop back down to what they normally were doing and stay on their same path. Even after this, we have to support the new change of direction with focus skills, or you will fall back. They will fall back. And that is called self-sabotage, meaning inside self, there wasn't enough help for the mind to stay on track. And then boom, they're down here and they slip and they fall down to their regular ingrained patterns. And then they end up where they have always end up. That's where they end up, the same place. And that's guaranteed to happen. Guaranteed. If there are no focus skills. And that's the 3 breakthrough techniques I'm going to show you, so we can help them stay on their path. Okay, tell me if this is making sense in the chat box. Just tell me. Is this making sense? Give me a heads up, because I want to know, because I am I saying too much detail? Should I just whip through this? Should I give me gas pedal, brake pedal kind of a thing? You getting it? Okay. So self-sabotage, totally got it. Okay, good. Okay, so self-sabotage can happen. This is the biggest place that self-sabotage will happen, is if the focus techniques are not in place. But self-sabotage can happen if there's no correction that goes on. And it can also happen right here if there's no application. And we already know it can happen right here because of a lack of education. So self-sabotage is just a snag wire all along the way. There's like these slippery slides every step of the way. That's why we need to know about this, so we can be great coaches and cause breakthroughs for our clients. And I love teaching this. I love helping with this. Okay, so here we go. So focus skills. You got focus skills, boom, they're on their way up. Then, I don't know if you know this one or not, but the last 10% of getting a goal, there is required problem-solving skills. Because this is where it comes together. This is the last moment. And if you've ever worked on a goal before, you know what it's like in the last 10%. It's where things are moving around and it's like it could happen, it could not happen. Maybe, and all these anxieties and thoughts and feelings, and you're about ready to change and something's going to be different. And it's just so many moving parts. That last 10% requires problem-solving skills. And guess what people lack in? They lack problem-solving skills because they spend a lot of time blaming. So this is where blaming rips people off. When you blame someone else for your challenge and issue, you're not problem solving. You're using a person as the reason of the problem. That's not problem solving. That's a cheater way of dealing with the problem, is to defer it to somebody else. So when you blame, or when your client blames another person, they're deferring the problem that it's somebody else that caused the problem. And so this person actually loses the ability to problem solve. It literally goes away. And so whatever level your client is blaming, either verbally or internally, this will really show up in the last 10%. In the last 10%, it is required to have problem-solving skills. And if you don't, guaranteed 10%, the last 10%, the person will crash and sabotage and end up doing what they normally do and literally miss it by 10% because they lack problem-solving skills. And they lost those problem-solving skills because they didn't tackle the problems themselves and say, I need to solve this. I have to figure this out. I have to adjust. I need to be different. They didn't take it on. So they weren't in problem solving. They were in problem deferring mode. So they defer that it's all these other people so that they can feel better that it's not them, but they don't realize the impact of what they just did. That's why these people who blame silently or verbally, that's why these people can't get things done. That's why they can't do it. They get to this part and they crumble. They fall apart. They can't do it. And so when things go wrong in this last 10%, like they always do, they blame. They can't fix it. They can't adjust. They can't hold themselves together because they fell into the deferring of the problem. Wow. When I figured this one out, this is about, probably about 9 years ago, I discovered this process. Because I'd been working on it for a couple of years, like, okay, what is happening? Where do the clients fall? Where do they, because I've been coaching for 18 years. So I've been watching people's behaviors for a long time. What they do, what they don't do, where they fall, why do they fall? Why do they self-sabotage? What are the sabotages? Like the sabotage tripwires, I could call that out on anybody, anywhere, about anything they do. I could show them exactly where they're going to fall. Like, this is what I love about coaching, is knowing what's coming, what's happening, what's going to be going on next. Because I know this path, because I've traveled down this path thousands of times of where things fall apart. But this last 10%, and guess what happens? This cracks me up. It's pathetic, but it cracks me up, is that when they can't solve the problems in the last 10%, they blame others, and guess who else they blame? You got it. They blame me. And I can see it coming, because if they blame others, I'm just next. I'm next in line that they're going to blame me. And so I know when I see that they're running into challenges in the last 10%, which they always do, every person has challenges in the last 10% of the journey to accomplish a goal. And then the pressure, which is not pressure, it's just the attention to detail increases. The attention to detail increases. And now that blame side comes to the surface. They blame people. They can't solve the problem. On their way down, they blame me for not getting their goal. And what do? I laugh. It makes it, in the beginning, it made me mad, but now I just start laughing. As soon as they start blaming me, I just start laughing. And they go, "What are you laughing about?" And I said, "You're doing what you've always done. You missed it. You missed it. No, you're supposed to help me. I paid you to be my coach. No, you don't have the power. You don't have it. You got close, but I will call it out on them. I will totally laugh if they blame me, because I will defer that energy from not getting on me, all their blame energy, that it's not me. It is not me. I know this path 1,000 times better than they do. But they're going to do what they always do. They blame. And they'll blame their spouse, their kids, their boss, the neighbors, God. They'll blame God for sure. They'll blame God all along the way, that God's supposed to make everything easy for them. It's just because they don't know how to problem solve. They don't know how to do this. And I love teaching clients how to problem solve, because I know it's coming. I know if they go for a goal, they're going to get to this point. So I better be teaching them all along the way. But what if they blame me? I just bust out laughing, and I'm like, "No, you missed it. And let me show you why." And then I can explain it to them. I already explained it to them, but they didn't pay attention until they missed their goal. And then it's like, "You missed it." And then they're just mad because I did not take the blame, because I could explain their behavior better than they could ever understand. And some people, it makes them mad. They're mad at me. And I'm like, "You can be mad at me. You still have the same problem." So it's like, let's get back at it. Let's get back at it. Get back up there. Get back up there. Let's do this. And some people you're going to coach, they are boogers. I mean, they're just like, they're kind of like attitude in the last 10%. Not everybody's happy in the last 10%, because they're realizing the lack of skill they have to problem solve, because they have unconsciously or consciously been blaming so much of their life on other people and God and whatever. Blame it on money, blame it on time, blame it on people, blame it on a God, blame it on weather. I mean, just blame it anywhere. They just completely just pass it on to somebody else. And when I see somebody who's like that, it's like, oh boy, they're not going to make it. But I can help them. But they have to realize they're the ones doing this, and they've got to change. They've got to own it, right? But this is the direction it's going. Now, Kirk, do you ever have happy clients? No, oh, for sure. For sure. It's probably like about 70% get to this point, and they're like, "Kirk, what do I do? How do I solve this?" It's like, okay, let's go through another problem-solving exercise. And I love it when they ask. But there's about 30% that just are stinkers. It's like their teenage side comes out. It's like their teenage side is like, they don't have to be responsible or accountable for anything. And it's like, that's fine. It's your goal. It's not my goal. It's your goal. You're the one who spent all the time. You can either listen to me as your coach, or you can do what you've always done, and you're going to just crash. What do you want to do? And so I call it out. I'm not afraid of them just because they're being all boogery and crunchy at me. It's like, you wake up, person. You need to see that you lack the skill. And see, that's the whole journey. People think they have what it takes, and they're bothered, they're bummed when they find out they can't do everything. It's so weird. It's like, did you forget you still are learning? Just because you're an adult doesn't mean you know what you're doing. You got to stay teachable, learn, be open for correction, use focus skills, or you're not going to make it. And this right here is so sad, because I will tell people, you're not going to make it unless you do this. Oh, I'll be fine. And then they sabotage and they crash. It's like, I told you. But the other 70% of clients, that I work with who listen to me, who really listen and do what I'm showing them to do, because I've already walked thousands of people down this path in group coaching and one-on-one coaching to show them where their brain is going to glitch, where there's going to be a fall apart, where there's going to be a come apart, and what is required next. A common normal person does not know this path. They don't know it. They don't know how this works. They don't realize the implications of doing this or not doing this. And that's why so many people fall back down to their original brain pattern, and they end up where they ended up last time. It's like they started a goal and then boom, they fell back down. It's like, oh, I've started so many goals, but I never made it. And it's like, yeah, because you were working with coaches who don't know what's going on. And that's my movement. My movement is, I'm glad people are becoming coaches, but we need quality coaches because other people are counting on them. They're counting on them. They're paying them. But it's like, who trained that person? Who trained them and how it really works? It's like, okay, yeah, maybe you bought that coaching thing on a website, but did anybody explain to you what and where people are going to sabotage? Did anybody explain to you what's going on? Did you have anybody to talk to about your clients? You want to have someone to talk to about your clients. Really, you want to have a coach that you can ask questions to say, hey, my client's here. What do I do next? What do I do with this client? If I could like help you as a coach, you want to hook into another coach that's ahead of you, that's knows what's going on, and ask them and tell them where your client is and ask, what do I do next? What is the path of transformation? And I'll tell you right now, 9 out of 10 people you ask, what is the path of transformation? They will not give you a list or a diagram like this in this detail and understand it to this point because they don't pay attention to it. If their client doesn't make their goal, yeah, they're bummed out. But do they study it? Do they diagram it? Do they put the details down? Do they then reverse engineer it to put in place what you need to do to be able to make it? I don't see more than 10% of coaches out there actually this invested in what they're doing. Because there are people out there who are coaches just for the money, not for the transformation of their client. And that's sad because it's promoted as do this as a business and make money, but they don't really ever learn what's going on. And so sad, the client pays the price because they don't have a coach that knows what's going on. So when I thought about what to teach you today to help you so you can be a great coach, I had to show this to you because this is the path. And if you don't know the path, then no matter what technique you learn, no matter what new cool process you're going to learn to help somebody, you don't get what the client's going through. You don't understand where they could fall, where they could slip, where they could be sabotaged. You don't get it. And that bothers me that you don't know. That's why I'm helping you. That's why I do webinars. That's why I share. That's why I have my YouTube channel. That's why we have a newsletter. It's like we're trying to reach you to say, hey, pay attention to this. Look at this. Do this. Don't do this. Do this to help you because people need help. Moms need help. Dads need help. Teenagers need help. The kids need help. Entrepreneurs need help. Single parents need help. The individual needs help. The world is going sideways. And people need to know how to stay grounded, how to stay focused, how to keep their head straight, how to keep their heart straight. They need help. They still have hopes and dreams. They still want to be a creator instead of a repeater. They still want to be that way. Everybody has dreams. Everybody has hopes of what they could do. And there's too many people losing the hope, losing the dream. And then when they lose hope and they lose their dreams about where they're going, guess what happens? They become hopeless. then they become powerless. Hopeless leads to powerless. And when a person becomes powerless, they don't even want to live anymore. What's the use? Why even try? Because being a creator and creating the life you want and do something you want to do, it's impossible to them because they don't know what's going on and they don't know what they're up against and they don't realize what's going on. They don't get it. And so people are looking for help, but they don't even know what they're going to run into. But if you knew about this, it'll make you a better coach so that you can do a better job at helping people be hopeful. Not everybody goes to church. I know it's weird for me to say that, but not everybody goes to church to find hope. There's a very small percentage of people who go to church, and I get told by church people, you just need to tell people to go to church. And I'm like, right. Okay. Yeah, sure. Yeah. Okay. I'll just tell people go to church. Are they going to go? No. People going to church is declining. It has declined over the years. It's going down. It tells you that people are becoming hopeless because they don't understand their psychology. They don't understand what's going on inside their head. They don't understand themselves. And that's why us as coaches are so needed, because we can help them understand themselves and help them to know what to do next to get their head in alignment, get their heart in alignment so that they can feel hopeful, so they can feel powerful, and so that they can help their children. They can help their spouse. They can help their mom. They can help their dad. That's why I think this is important. Because when they don't know, they don't try. They just stay on the same path. And after a while, they settle. And the creator inside of them, the light of their creator inside of them goes dim. Why try? I'll just fall again. Why try? So I'm instructing you, teaching you, coaching you right now to open your eyes to how this works so that you will use this. And think about the way you're coaching. And knowing that when your clients get to the last 10%, they are going to wrestle and have a come apart because they don't have problem-solving skills. Focus skills, that's next. The correction, that's you. The application, that's them. You got to follow up on them. Did you do your step? Did you do this? And yeah, I'll do it. Okay, get it done. Making sure they're doing the work. And then you're checking in. How did you do this? Oh, you did it that way? Okay, you need to adjust. Okay, are you learning? Oh, I did a week ago. Well, you got to do it today too. Oh, why am I doing this? You got to show them the path. Show them the path. This is where you're going. This is why you need to do this. It all builds. And as they build, they learn the skill of doing this. You and I are empowering people to understand this process so that they can be independently successful. Because if they can do it, they can teach their kids. They could teach their daughter. They could teach their son. They could help their friend. But we want to help them see where you're going and why you're doing what you're doing, to empower them so they can be hopeful, so they can have just relentless faith in who they are. That's a beautiful sight. Have you ever seen somebody who's just relentless in this high level of faith and belief and hope and powerful? It is absolutely a glorious moment to see somebody be like that. It's so inspiring. It is so beautiful. And that's what we're doing. That's what this is all about. And so I wanted to show you this path so you could see how this works and where they can fall down. The first three right here, sure, we could talk more about, well, how do you correct? How do you follow up? How do you gauge the quality of their education they're getting? We could talk about every single one of these. The focus skills is next. Problem solving. Wow, that's a whole training in itself. Is like, what do you do? How do you help that client in the last 10%? Because most of the time when you meet very, very high level people, they've done 90% of their goal. And now they're looking for a coach. They're like, how do I finish this? Like, this is where people turn to coaches. Okay, it's not coming together. Why? And this is its own world here, this last 10%. But we're going to talk about this right now is the focus skills. What do you do to help your clients stay on track through this? Because they're learning, they're applying, they're being corrected. It's a very, very sensitive time that they could fall with sabotage and go back. But we want to keep them on track where they're going so that they can make it to where they're wanting to turn out with their goal, their results, their outcome. Okay, super cool. Okay, I'm gonna do questions here in about. I better not estimate time because I'm sharing way more than I had planned. I stayed on this slide way longer than estimated for this. I just get passionate about this. I just kind of crazy about it, but I love it. Okay, so here's my 3 words. These are my 3 words that I think about when I think about my clients. My clients are going to become stronger, lighter, and smarter. That's how I think about my clients. The clients I work with, they're going to become stronger, lighter, and smarter. And so I have a plan. I have this belief. I have this energy I send to them of you're going to become stronger, lighter, and smarter. That's my plan for you. So if they accept that plan or not, I don't care. It's what I project. It's my vibe that I send to them because that's how I think about them, is that you're going to become stronger, lighter, smarter. I don't know if you have your own 3 words or 3 sentences or 3 thoughts, whatever you want to do, but I don't know if you have your outcome picked for your clients, because there's a lot of wiggle room between stronger, lighter, and smarter. It's just a way of being. But I have in my mind a way of being that I'm going to cause them to get there. Like, that's my intention. And I've found that every human being has said, oh, I really wish I was a little bit stronger, or I wish I was lighter. I really wish I was smarter. Like, these are 3 things that people actually are looking for. And so I took them on. It's like, well, I'm going to project this. My vibe is going to have this in it. And whoever I work with, that's where we're going. That's where we're going along this process, is you're going to become stronger, lighter, and smarter. Okay, so to start this journey on this path of transformation, I should probably rename that. Path of transformation. That's what I love about writing content, is I can change things as they evolve, as they become more and more clear. Okay, path of transformation. There we go. Okay, so now let's talk about the focus skills or the breakthrough techniques, because this is the breakthrough process or path. And the 3 skills or techniques that I'm going to teach you helps the client get to this point and move forward. Okay, so this is a critical point that you need to know where this is at in the path, and that these skills are necessary to maintain this path. And while they're struggling, wrestling with their problem-solving skills, this keeps them on the path. If during problem solving they quit doing this, they will fall. So that's one of the reasons they'll fall, is if they quit doing this. So they need to do this to stay on the path while they're wrestling with their level of skill when it comes to problem solving. And so this is going to make coaching so much easier if you have them working on these skills to keep them on track. Good? Okay, so this is what they are. The first one is see it to believe it. Now, you hear people say it like, well, I'll believe it when I see it. And it's true. That is true. People lack belief until they see something. But there's a twist to this. So there's two sets of eyes. Inside, oh, shoot. Hold on. I got to mess up my screen just for a second. I have to adjust something so I can reach something that I put at the top of my screen. This is kind of funny. Hold on. It's not an earthquake or anything like that. There we go. Is that what I need? There we go. Okay. So we have two sets of eyes. There is the eyes that look outward. And then we have the eyes that are inward. Two sets of eyes. Now, the comment of I'll, see it to believe it, or I'll believe it when I see it. That is, most people take that as a physical eye moment, like an external eye type of thing. Like, oh, when I see it, then I'll believe it, right? But the way that this comment actually works is to be able to see it inside your head. Inside. Because inside, you have the ability to imagine or visualize. And what we want to do is we want to activate this part of the brain. Now, not everybody has this part active. People are at all different levels, some at a level 1, some at a level 10, some at a level 0. But to be able to take what it is that they want out here, like they see, like, oh, I just wish I had a nicely landscaped backyard. They can see it, but inside their head, they don't see it for themselves. It's not in there. They don't see themselves having a landscaped yard. And so they literally will say, I see my neighbor has it, but I don't see it for myself. So when a person lacks the internal imagery of them having or experiencing their goal, when they lack it, they are in a state of disbelief because it's not in their head. They can see it out here, but they don't believe it's possible because it's missing in their head. Disbelief is because of an absence of it being in the mind. I'm going to say that again slowly because this is super important. Disbelief is because it is absent in the mind. So they may see it out here, but they don't believe it's possible. And the reason they say they don't believe it's possible for them is because it's not in their head. They actually have this empty spot. When I say empty, I'm talking like empty, like it's empty. Like there's this spot in their head and it's empty. And they could take that idea that they see, and they could take that idea and actually put it in their head. Even though they currently don't have it, like it's not here, it's over here. If it's in their head, they then will say, you know what? I think this is possible. It starts the belief. Belief starts when they can see it in their mind. They can see themselves with the goal. And this is absolutely incredible, powerful, and super important what we're talking about right now, because this has to do with belief and faith. And this is where motivation comes from. So when they imagine themselves, when they can imagine themselves with the goal, and then they can put that image inside their head that they are with the goal, they are having the goal, they are experiencing the goal, they have that landscaped yard, they can see it, like they can close their eyes and imagine the yard done, and the trees and the grass and the flowers and the kid play zone or whatever they want. They imagine it inside there. Then they believe, they start to say it's possible when it's in here. But if it's not in there, they will say that can't happen. So hold on. Did you just hear that? It literally, like, they can go from it's impossible to it's possible. Like, the whole outlook changes when it's in their head, when it's in their mind, when they can close their eyes, or they don't even have to close their eyes, but they can sit there and imagine them laying on the grass in the backyard, but they look outside and it's dirt. But if they can imagine themselves laying on the grass underneath a tree, they can imagine it. That's when the possibility is started. The road to transformation requires belief. It requires belief. You don't get where you want to go with disbelief. You don't get there. That's impossible to get where you want to go with disbelief. I mean, come on, let's think about this for a second. Oh, hey, look, I don't believe this is possible, and I made it. It's like, no, we have to, at this point, increase the belief. Get them learning, get them doing what they know how to do so far, start correcting what they're doing, and then build their belief by getting this deeper into their mind, that they're thinking about it, they're imagining it, they're brainstorming about it. This is so gigantic, but yet it's such a missing part about how this works. Is that so I was with someone last week, and I asked them, hey, do you have a goal? And they're like, yeah. And I said, oh, tell me about it. Well, and they couldn't describe it very well. And then I asked, oh, so how's your progress with it? And they said, well, it's not going very good. Do you see how those two connect? The less you can describe it, the less you're going to get it. The more you can describe it and describe you experiencing it, the more your eyes look for what needs to be done to make it happen. So how do you do this? How do you get that inside here? That's where you use a goal poster or a vision board. This is where you get the details about what you're working on. This is the education right here. You get the details. Okay, what is it that you want to work on? Let's detail it out. Tell me what it's going to be like when you have this. Detail that out. And when I say detail, that means write it down. What is this, and what is it like to already have it? That written description gets to be read out loud every day. Read it out loud every day. What you read about or what you watch becomes an image in your mind. Whatever you read or whatever you look at or whatever you listen to becomes an internal image. And that could be with junk. You could have junk. And if you think about junk, well, then you're going to have junk inside your head. So whatever you read, whatever you watch, whatever you listen to becomes an image in your mind. And whatever is in your mind, that's what affects what you do next. It affects your decision making. It affects your actions, because that is what is in and on your mind. And so we need to use this part of our mind for good, not for trash, not for random bits of information off the internet that are meaningless and fill our head full of a bunch of junk. We need to use the part of our mind that visualizes and imagines intentionally. And today, people use the inside of their mind for a dumping ground of random information. They don't use it intentionally because they don't know how it works. Whatever is on our mind, that then now affects every decision that person makes. It affects their mood. It affects their decision making. It affects their actions. It affects their motivation. So if your client has this on their mind, they're not going to have motivation. They're not going to make good decisions, and they're going to be confused. That's why we have so many confused people, because they're not using the imagery part of their mind to create. All that's happening in their head is a bunch of random bits of information that actually scrambles their brain. There are lots of things in this world right now that scramble your brain, so you can't think. You can't make decisions. You have no idea where you're going, and you have no idea how to get there because it's full of random bits of information. And then when you stick a goal in there, how are you supposed to get your goal? So I tell my clients, the ones who are at this stage, I tell them, you need to cut out all this other junk you're putting in your head. Quit watching this stuff, quit listening to that stuff, and you need to focus, this is what this means, or input your goal into your head. That means read the story about your goal, where you're going, because you wrote down the details of what it is you want to do. And when you have this on your mind because you read about it every day and you're thinking about it every day, you then will find what to do to be able to accomplish that goal. But you can't if you have other junk you're feeding your brain with every day. And I don't know what that is for you, but you need to know what is healthy for your brain and what is unhealthy for your brain. But random bits of information off the internet, if you're just scrolling and just watching stuff, is scrambling your brain, and your goal is smothered, and your brain can't operate the way it's built to operate because it's full of a bunch of random bits of junk. Not that people are junk that are making those videos out there, but it literally scrambles your brain. And so your client won't make it. Your client won't make it. You won't make it. The way that we stay creators and become even better creators is we see what we want to do, experience, or have. We write the details down. We read it every day, because what we read becomes an internal image. You read a book, it produces internal imagery. You hear a sound outside, your brain produces an imagery of what it might be. What you read or listen to or watch becomes an internal imagery, and that affects every decision, every choice, every action, every level of motivation. And so to put you on the path and your client on the path to transformation and to accomplish goals, this is required. It's not an option. It is required if they are to make it. So what that looks like is a written description. You can also have a vision board on the wall that has pictures of your goal. And every day, look at that wall of pictures of what it is you want to create so that it gets the image in your mind. When it first gets put in here, it's this teeny little tiny thing. And every day you look at the pictures that describe your goal and read the written description of your goal, it feeds this goal and it grows. It grows and it grows and it grows and it grows and it grows until it becomes what's dominant on your mind. And along the way, you start to see it of how to make this goal happen. But you cannot see what to do for this goal if it is not even on the mind. And your client doesn't know how to do this. Do not assume that everybody understands how to put this in their mind. It's powerful. It is required. It is a function of the mind. And if the function of the mind is abused, this person will be confused. When the mind is abused, the person becomes confused. And this person is not going to have nowhere to go. There's nothing there. There's just random bits of information, and they're using this part of their mind for entertainment instead of creation. Does that make sense? Tell me in the chat. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. Okay, huge. So it makes sense that when a client gets to this point, if they don't have one of these three focus skills, they're going to lose it and fall back to self-sabotage because this is what is already in their mind. This is not in their mind yet. We are able to accomplish whatever is in our mind. If it is not in our mind, we don't get it. And it doesn't become complete. We only achieve what's in our mind. And so if the goal is not in your mind or in your client's mind, they don't get it. And so if the client's not getting their goal, it's because it's not in their mind. It's not there. And so it's really easy to tell. If my client's not getting their goal, it's like, it's not in your head yet. And they're like, oh, how do I do that? And I'm like, you got to read your description every single day. Every single day, read that description. Oh man, I got to hurry. I'm taking a long time to teach you this. Okay. Sorry. I go on to these long explanations. I should probably just fly through this. Okay. Second. Okay. So that's the first one. The second one is we have language that comes out of our mouth, and we use language every single day. And because of the certain language we use, we're able to connect to certain kind of people because of the way we talk. And that particular language then affects the people around us. And then those people, they interact with us, and we're at that particular level of interacting with these kind of people because of the language that we use. So language comes from the mind, but we also have language in the mind. There's chatter that goes on in here, and there's chatter that goes on out of our mouth. So we have two voices, external voice, internal voice. Just like we have two eyes, we have external eyes and internal eyes. So we have external voice and internal voice. Our internal voice ends up coming out in our external voice. So if we have negativity in our head, or if we have pain in our head, then that comes out in our voice, and that affects the people around us, and that's where we end up. And then that's where our life ends, and not ends, but that's where we're limited to, is because of the language we have. If we change our language to talking about being a creator, and if we change our language to about what we want to do, and we want to change our life and we want to be better, we actually start to tap into a whole new type of person. It's a different group of people. It really is. Your language determines the kind of people you surround yourself with. So negative people end up being around certain people that just are that way too. But when we change our language and we decide that we're going to speak in the language of, I want to be better, I want to improve, I'm a good person, and what I do is good, when we start talking good about who we are, we then start talking good about life. And when we talk good about life, it changes. We open ourselves up to a new kind of person who also talks that way. And so we start to surround ourselves with people who are also in the improvement, development, living a better life kind of people. These people are still in our life, but we open ourselves up, literally open ourselves up to a whole new type of people to be around, which become very inspiring. So the way in which we talk to ourselves and about ourselves influences the way the language comes out of our mouth. And so step 2 is the description we have about who we are. This is a paragraph that they write about who they are and what they're going to do. 2 parts to the page or the paragraph. Who am I and what do I do in my life? This is a reminder to us every day of the goodness of who we are. Now, generally, people have more negative thoughts than positive thoughts. It's just the way people are. There's a bunch of negativity in the world, and so there's good in all of us, but it also can be crowded out with a bunch of negative. And a way that you increase your ability to see yourself as a good person is to use this technique every day to read the paragraph about yourself, who you are and what you can do or what you want to do with your life. This then feeds this part of you, which then changes your language that comes out of your mouth, which then affects the kind of people you meet and that you can meet. Because there are different levels of people, of the way they think and the way they talk. There are high producers and there are low producers. The low producers, we don't love them any less. They just ultimately are lower producers in what they do and how they do things. And they tend to judge and be critical and, a lot of comparison and a lot of stuff like that. That's not really healthy. And then you have high producers who they have less judgment, less critical. They are more active. They are more believing. They're more daring. They're more fearless. And when you change the language about yourself, the language that comes out of your mouth improves. And when it improves, you then find yourself meeting other people that are at that level too, which then becomes a motivator to be around other people that also are talking good about themselves and also have big belief in themselves. They're confident. You want to have a game-changing experience. Change the way you talk to yourself. Surround yourself with confident people. It brings that vibe of confidence on you, and you find yourself being fearless and relentless and just go for it. And you're willing to have you have a higher level of motivation, but you have to change what's going on inside the head. So with your client, it's a paragraph. or maybe 2 paragraphs of who are they and what are they doing with their life. And it's read every day. And it can be edited and upgraded at any time in their life. But this number 2 is missing in people's lives. And because it's missing and it's not fed, then it makes it very susceptible to become small and to become smothered and be able to have negativity literally cover up the light of who they are. The third one that creates a massive change is letting it go. Every day when we interact with people, there's good things that happen and there's also difficult things that happen. And it's just the way life is. It's just there's good and there's difficult. And sometimes from the difficult, some of that difficult sticks to us. Maybe it's something somebody said or what somebody did, but that negativity gets in us one way or another. But it's also in there with a lot of the other good. Now, I think when it comes to this, we need to do like a math equation. There's 4 negatives in this person. There's 3 positives. If we balance the account, this person is in a -1 because there's 3 positives and 4 negatives. So this person, even though they are positive, but when you do the balance of the account of the person, when it comes to their emotions, their feelings, their thoughts, they're still in the negative. And even if we add a bunch more of the positive, and let's say this person had a few more things that were tough, do the math. They're still negative. And let's remove a couple of them. So let's say that they have 5 and 5. Balance the account. They're at 0. Even though they have 5 good portions of something that's happened to them, if they've got 5 things that are still bugging them, their balance of their account is 0. So this person who thinks they're positive, like, yeah, I got all these things that are good in my life, but they can't produce, they can't move forward, they can't get their goal. It's because they're at 0. You have to balance the account. 5 positives, 5 negatives equals 0. So what if we took the negatives out? We did not even add any positive. Didn't even add any positive. All we did was take the negative out. What just happened? Now they're at a +4 in their account as a human being. Now this person has power. They've got energy. They've got motivation. And all they had to do was take out the negative. They did not even have to add positive. Didn't even have to add it. They removed the negative. This technique by itself, removing the negative, empowers a person because the equation changes from a negative balance to a positive balance by removing the negative. This concept, I don't know why, but some people, it just doesn't quite click to them. They just like, no, I just want to keep throwing positive in there. It's like, well, okay, but you still have negativity that's draining your account of who you are. And so they're like, okay, well, what do I do? I said, well, there's all these negative thoughts and negative feelings that are inside of you every day. Every day. For the first 7 days, write down what bugs you. Write down what bothers you every day for 7 days. Then take that piece of paper, shred it, and throw it away. Just whatever bugs you, whatever bothers you, whatever's irritating you, whatever's just on your mind that somebody did, write it down, shred it, and throw it away every day for 7 days. Look what you just did to the account in your body. Now there's 5 positives, 2 negatives. You're in the positive by 3. That is transformational. It changed your energy. It changed your vibe. It changed the feeling that comes from you. After 7 days, Do this exercise on the odd days of the month. Every time it's an odd day, sit down with a piece of paper or type it out on your computer, get all the negative out, whatever's bothering you, bugging you, whatever's irritating you under the skin, and then write it down, print it off, shred it. Do not let anybody read it. Get rid of it. That changes your vibe. And when you change the vibe inside, when you change this, what happens is the vibe that's going out from you, when it changes, now every aspect of your life is affected. Everywhere. These three techniques, these three techniques, see it to believe it, say it, and let go of it, are transformational. This is the beginning stages of all three of these techniques. I could take 2 hours on every single one of them and go into lots of detail of the different ways to do it with different types of clients. But these are the three you want to use in teaching your client. So when they get to this point, they have the help that they need mentally and emotionally and spiritually to stay on track. When we use our mind the way it's designed to create. That's what it's there for. It's to absorb everything that's going on around us, assimilate everything, and process everything. So not assimilate, but absorb and process, and then look at what is possible. And when we think about what is possible and we take action on what is possible, we stay in that mode of being a creator. But when our mind is plugged up, or our mind is backed up with emotions or backed up with thoughts, or it's just not functioning, all we have left is to be a repeater, to do the same thing we've always done. And that's not how we've been designed to live. We've been designed to live to create. That's where we're going with coaches, is to help empower people to be able to do that. So what I do is I know the client is going down this path, right? They're going down this path. And I know they're going to need the focus skills to finish the transformation out. And these are the three I go to, the boom, the second one, and the third one. They have to be doing all three of these if they're going to make it. And every time I have a client who gets on this path and they do these techniques, it is very fast how things happen. And shocking and surprising things happen to them, especially when they start meeting new people. And they're like, hey, guess who I just met today? Guess who I just talked to today? Their whole world changes because they change their language about how they talk to themselves. I mean, every single one of these techniques, it's already been proven over and over and over again that they absolutely work. But it's our job as a coach to be sure that it's in their life and they're doing it. The common person doesn't know about this. They don't know how it works. And even most coaches don't know how it works. But today, you just got an eyeful and an earful about how this works. And some of this you might have already known, but today, I'm sure this helped bring it together even into a better understanding and clicked the pieces more tightly together to help you. I know it has. I can feel it. I know you've had ahas. And there's other parts where you go, oh, I knew about that, but I didn't know that's how it worked. And that's my job. My job is to help open up your mind so that you can see how this works. Because if you can see it, I know you'll use it. I know you'll do something different with your clients to be able to help them. Don't underestimate the foundational principles of the mind. Imagery is a foundational principle. And when it's skipped or not used or abused, it breaks down. And the person's life will break down. Language is pure vibration. If it's of the negative, it's not good for the person's life, especially when it's about themselves. Because whatever they say about themselves, they say that about other people too. And it's destructive. It is powerful. Language is powerful, and it can be very destructive to the individual and to the people around him. And then to clean up and clear out and let go of today. Whatever happened today, do this clearing before you go to bed. So your brain can sleep better, so the body can sleep better and the brain can process without having to deal with a bunch of other stuff inside the body. Help your clients see the value of these foundational principles. Is that you got to see it if you're ever going to make it, and you got to change the way you talk. And number 3, you got to clean up. It's really hard to have momentum and have motivation when you're heavy with emotions and thoughts. It's really hard. It's exhausting. So these 3 areas, super important, very, very valuable to implement into your clients' lives, and be sure that they're following them and checking in on them of what they're actually doing with these 3 techniques, and show them the path. Show them what's going on so they understand why you're talking about this. I mean, it's all about the client getting to their goal. That's the thing. It's not about us as coaches being awesome to the client. It's about the client making it, because now they become empowered. And when they become empowered, they also now can empower other people. And let's think about the kids. All those kids out there in the world that are dealing with a crazy world right now, they need some help in being trained at a young age how to manage their mind, how to manage their language, and how to manage their emotions. If they don't get help from their parents or their guardians, they don't get help, we're going to grow up with a generation that's really, really scrambled. So my movement is to teach you so you can teach the adults, and then those adults can teach the children. That's the whole idea, is like, if we can empower coaches to be able to do this and be able to get out there and help, then we can help the kids. Oh, I think about the kids all the time. Okay. Everything gets better when I do. Now, I've been creating classes for years. I've been doing this for 18 years and have created some incredible programs that have generated millions of dollars in sales. And I love creating programs. And I've created 42 different classes over my 18 years. And these right here have all been $1 million classes that have just done extremely well. I don't know how well your content is written or how confident you feel about your content, but I love helping people with content, how to do it, how to write content, how to put together diagrams, really how to coach. I think it's really important that we become really good at this. And so if it's the delivery or if it's the content, or what to do in certain situations with the client, I would just love to talk to you like every day about this. So what I did is, from all my experience, I realized I ought to be sharing this at a deeper level. Like today was a great insight to what I could show you and help you with, so that you can feel more organized and planned about what you're doing as a coach. So from all my experience, I've created a program called the Coach Fast Track program. And this Coach Fast Track program is about content, coaching skill, and you having paid clients. We make it almost impossible to fail as a life coach. And the reason why is because we bridge the gaps from content to delivery to being qualified as a coach. And so you can serve people at the highest level that you could ever do. And so we are here to be able to help you along the way on being able to build the most incredible coaching program you've ever had. And so you can be super confident with it. And so you can literally help people all over the world. Now, the way we do this is in this Coach Fast Track program is I have my team. I do coaching every week. My team is also involved with coaching. They've been part of creating these programs and holding seminars and all the work we've done over the last 18 years. And my team is super smart about what we do. We've generated over $22, $23 million in sales. And I'm just in awe because I started out in the garage, right? Like I sat at this little table and I was in the garage and I just wanted to help people. And it's just grown to this incredible, incredible company where we help people all over the world. But we would love to coach you. We'd love to help you. And I hope you take it the right way, but I would love to help you to know where to correct what it is that you're doing. Now, you heard me what I just said, to correct you. See, this is you. I'm going to like turn the tables now. This is you. And what I'm proposing to you is to increase your education about being a coach and take action on what I'm going to teach you and be open to allowing me to correct you and me teaching you the next level of focus skills. And the most important, you learn how to problem solve so that you can reach your goals as a coach. Because the better you are as an individual, the better you're going to be as a coach. What if you and I spent more time together? What if you could learn from me? You could see what to do. You were open for correction. You then could raise your level of focus and learn the necessities of problem solving so you could do well and achieve what you want. Like, what if that could happen? Well, that's why I've created the Coach Fast Track program and involve my whole team. So we're here to help move you forward in a huge way. So we're going to help you in the Coach Fast Track program with a step-by-step guide of what to teach, how it works, why it works. And so we've created and pulled together these 5 life empowering phases. The first one is how to actually coach. Now, you probably already have paid clients. If you don't, it's okay. We'll start you off with practice clients. Next, build your program, get it done, get it organized. Then teaching your program and really using it and fine tuning it, because my team can help you see where to adjust and where to correct things so it functions better. And then, of course, learning the art of sales and marketing. Then to repeat and grow, which means group coaching, which means being out there in the world and working with people literally all over the world. These 5 different phases is what I want to walk you through with education and application. Because the more you understand this, I've already been down this path. I've already been doing this. I already know how to generate $1 million in a year. I can show you how to do this. Now, to help along the direction, we have an online academy that has training videos that I show you step by step how to do things. That way you can rewind it, watch it, rewind it, watch it, and you can go back and watch it at any time so you can really get to understand exactly how this works and what I've learned in coaching and all my experience with thousands of people in coaching. And then also we've created a ready-to-go coaching program. That means that there are 7 complete appointments that are ready to go, that have client worksheets and also a facilitator guide for every appointment. You can use my coaching program while you're building your own coaching program. So this coaching program, when I say use my coaching program, you see that image right there? That's the first one I showed you at the beginning of the screen. Like, I'll show you how to understand the dynamics of people. Like, really, I'm going to show you exactly what I do when I coach. So you can learn this as fast as possible so that you can stand out as a coach when you're with your clients. That's what I want, is that you can be different and be able to be that kind of coach that has such a deep understanding of coaching compared to the other people out there in the world. Because when they come to you, we want those clients to have a great experience and they tell all their friends how amazing you are. So the next part that's important is this facilitator guide, so that you have a guide of how to hold each appointment. So you're not going into it blind. You're not going into it trying to figure out what to say and what to do, what questions to ask. All of that is included. What questions to ask, what direction to take them in every single one of those appointments. Then part of the Coach Fast Track is our $1 million content creator templates. This is how we create a $1 million program. We have templates for you to follow. You can see how we analyze our information and how we organize our information. And then guess what you get to do? Every week, when you jump on this call right here, you can ask these guys any question about content. These guys are phenomenal with content creation. And then when you jump on this call every week on Wednesday, you can ask me questions about content, about coaching people. You've got our whole team here to help you. We've got Wayne on Monday, who will help you with getting through resistance. He is a resistance breaker coach, meaning get you through whatever's you're having resistance towards. That's every Monday. My team's here to answer questions about sales, marketing, content, and then I'm here to answer questions about anything about coaching. And I'm going to share gold nuggets every single Wednesday. So this program with all 5 of these phases is what we have to offer to you to help you in your progress. We will show you what to do. We've been down this path many, 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 many times. We know what works. We know what doesn't work. Also, if you're an empath or an intuitive coach, me too. I understand you, and I can help you with your empath gift, with your intuitive side. I can help you know how to manage that gift so it helps you instead of hurts you. And I can teach you how to really use that empath gift to be in tune with people. So I've got training videos, and also you would have access to me every Wednesday to ask me questions about being an empath. So yes, there's education, but we also need to weigh it out with application and correction. Now, if you're not in the mode to be corrected, maybe this is not for you. If you're into you think you're doing everything right and you are just going to do it that way, maybe you should not be around this program, because what we like to do is help fine tune what you're doing to make those minor adjustments so it's better. We already know what works. I know you're trying to figure out what works all by yourself, and it's going to take you a while. It's going to take you a while to figure it out, but you can do it yourself if you want. So if all this program did was finally get you organized so you can take action, it would be so worth it. And what if all it did was help you share your message with more people? That would be awesome. And what if all this program did was give you the ability to show people that you can coach and it does work? Like build your credibility as a person, right? Well, I've coached lots of people, and I've coached people to go from $0 in sales to 5,000 selling their program. And then doing webinars and having $6,800 happen from a webinar. Be able to have $14,000 in a month. To be able to have $16,000 in 23 days. Or to be able to have $50,000 in a month. So I don't know where you're at. If you really want to be better, or if you're kind of wishing you were better, or you're kind of wandering around with this, if you're on this end of the scale, take a step to look into more about this program, the Coach Fast Track program. And the way you do that is schedule a call. We're here to answer questions. We're here to talk to you about it. Go to this link, 3ke.to/let's coach, or scan this QR code, and it will take you to the page that I ask you a few questions before you book your call to find out more information about this Coach Fast Track program. But go to 3ke.to/let's coach, or scan the QR code, and it'll take you here. You'll answer a few questions, and then you'll go here to book a time that's available today or tomorrow or this next week. We'd love to help you. Just start somewhere. Start somewhere. Don't just sit there, at the bottom of the hill wondering, how am I going to do this? We already know how it works, and you can be very successful at being a coach in so many ways because we know what the path is, we know what the journey is. And so if you've been feeling it, Like, oh, I got to get this going. If you've been feeling it and frustrated and wondering why it's not coming together, it's because you need more education, the right kind of education. And I have that for you. And then what to do. I have steps of exactly what to do, of how to practice. And then we know how to help you fine tune it. And then we know how to help you stay focused. And then I can coach you and teach you on how to problem solve so you can get there. And what that means is coach people, change people's lives, cause transformation. But don't sit around struggling. And you know where you're struggling. And you know you have sabotage that happens. I can help you through that sabotage so it doesn't happen. I can help you stay on the path and get to where you really are designed to be as a coach and reaching people, helping people, doing your thing, doing what God called you to do. But do it really big, full on, 100%, no hesitation. Live what your mission is instead of wish it could happen. So go book a call. We're all friendly people. And when you book a call, you will either be talking to Ammon or Wayne or Cody or me. It depends. We all have our schedules, and you will be talking to one of us, and we'll share all the details you need to know about the Coach Fast Track, the price, the program, if it's the right fit for you. We can answer your questions. And what I'm going to do is for the first five people who book a call, you get an extra bonus. So the first five people who book a call, tell Cody, Wayne, or Ammon, or myself, whoever answers the call when you're on your appointment, tell them I said that you can have a $1,500 discount. That's a terrible word to say, discount, but $1,500 off the program. That's huge. That's huge, but it's only for the first five people. Tell them Kirk said to take off, because they're going to tell you what the price is. And then you say, oh, guess what? Kirk told me to tell you to take off $1,500 because I was on his webinar, because I showed up. I was live. I was there. I was in person, and I watched. And that's a reward to you. That's $1,500. Be sure to tell them, but you have to be one of the first five people to book a call to talk to them about this. And they'll answer all your questions, give you all the information. It is a no pressure phone call. It is an informative phone call so that you can have all the details to see if this is the right program and if I am the right coach for you. I know you're ready. I know you want to do this. And I get it. You might be a little nervous or like, oh, I don't know if I want to do this or not. But just jump on the call. Sometimes when you realize you got people that believe in you, it makes all the difference. People that believe in you. We're those kind of people. We're those kind of people. We're those kind of people that when you adjust the way you talk about yourself, we're these kind of people right here. We're big thinkers. We're believers. We have faith, and we do the work. We take action. Come hang out with us. We'll help you take action. Surround yourself with people who believe and take action. That's part of your problem, is who you're hanging out with. But in the coaching world, this is a great place to be, because we've been doing it for 18 years and we're still going, and we know what we're doing. And you get to be around that too when you join the Coach Fast Track program. So go here, book your call. Be sure to tell them to take off $1,500 because you are here in person. Again, there'll be a few questions that you'll answer. They're easy questions. And then choose your time today or tomorrow, or after Monday, because I know Monday's a holiday. There's dates that are open on Tuesday, but get one of those dates, be one of the first 5, because our system shows us who the order in which people call. So just get one of those dates as soon as you can and get started with this. You remember the 3 words that I shared before. This is what I think about you. This is the kind of energy I would project. This is the kind of intention I put towards you in this program, is to see you becoming stronger, lighter, and smarter. And every level, every inch of you becoming stronger, lighter, and smarter, you know what happens? Your light shines. And when your light inside of you shines, people come to you because they can see that you figured something out and they want to learn from you. Stronger, lighter, smarter. That's what we're going to pour all over you. Go book a call, join the Coach Fast Track program. Love to work with you. Either scan the QR code or type in the 3ke.2/let's coach and let's get started. And the path that we just now talked about, you will be going down that path yourself, and we will support you. We will help you every step of the way and get you into that last 10% so that you can finish the goal you have with being a coach, with the number of clients, or maybe you want to get your program done, or you want to start a group coaching program. Whatever it is, let's get you to where you're going. We're here to help you. Cool. It's so fun. I love this. This is so great. And you guys, thank you for being here and being able to be part of this. I was super excited. And I woke up early this morning, just laying in bed. It was like a holiday to me, just because I love sharing. And I maybe I'll be the one on the phone call with you. It's just kind of random how it happens, but all of my team is amazing. They'll answer your questions, give you the information you need so you can make a decision. Tell them you get $1,500 off the tuition. Looking forward to it. Thank you. Get out there, coach somebody, and really dive into their world and do everything you can to be able to help them have that transformation experience. All right. Love you guys. Oh, I said that we're going to do Q&A. Okay. Well, I'm going to do a couple questions right now. So let me answer some questions. So this is what we're going to do. Where's that one screen at? Hold on just a second. I got to switch screens. We're going to do some live questions. We'll see how this works. See if it works. Okay, hold on. Okay, so if you have a question that you have for me, I don't even know if there are questions. I'm just going to throw it out there. If you have a question for me, click the raise the hand button. Let's see if this works for the way we're doing this. Oh, okay. Where are you at? Okay, Joseph, you just raised your hand. I'm going to click your unmute button so you can talk. Hi, Joseph.
Hey, Kirk, how's it going?
What's happening, man?
Dude, again, thank you so much for the information and experience on you being a life coach and you helping thousands of people's lives. I think that's like super cool. I love that.
Awesome. Thank you. What can I do for you?
So I am curious. I don't know how I can bring this up, but I guess I'm trying to be as clear as possible because I know I want to step into being relentless and have the relentless faith that you were talking about with taking the journey of being a life coach. And in the past, I'm still like life coaching with people, but I've been still in the state of doing it. Some of them were like for free. And as well as that, I am still improving just a little bit, but my mind, the expectation that I have for myself is very, very high. And so every time that, like right now, a couple days ago, I set a goal of a $5,000 goal to be able to help magnify it's not just the money goal, it's the process that I want to achieve of the journey that would take be able to get up to the $5,000 goal. But the thing is, I feel like inside myself, I feel like I'm stuck.
So I'm going to jump in. Can I jump in?
Go ahead.
Okay. I hear that you have a $5,000 goal. Have you ever set a $4,000 goal and achieved it?
The answer is no, I have not.
Have you ever set a $3,000 goal and achieved it?
So the biggest goal that I ever accomplished when it comes to life coaches was $501.
Okay. So you're going from 500 to 5,000. Your brain doesn't know how to do 1,000. And you're stretching it to go to 5,000. And so you set yourself up for a really big gap between 500 and 5,000. What you're doing is inside your mind, goals need to be set like ladder rungs, like the rungs on a ladder. And so if you have a $500 goal and then you do 5,000, you're missing a bunch of those rungs. And that's why you can't get there, is because you don't know how. Because you got to come back down and go, okay, you did 500. Okay, did you do 500 twice?
I was close a couple of times, but I think in my life coaching experience, I think I've self-sabotaged it because my mind was on the money and a little bit on the people too. And maybe because of my vocalization of how I was talking to someone else, they picked it up that I was there also, for them. It was also I'm there for them, but I'm also there for myself.
Okay.
So
here,
okay,
let me help you with this. So there's a psychology that happens that when you have your first 10 clients sign up and pay you for coaching, or even practicing, having a client practice with you, you have presented your coaching program. Now they are in your coaching program, and now you're doing your coaching program. And so now you're practicing giving the value that you said it was. Like you're actually now doing the coaching, and you're attempting to have the value of what you're doing match what you said it was. And that's just what happens to us as entrepreneurs, is that you have a product or a service and you present it, and then somebody says, yes, I want it. And now it's time to deliver it. That space right there of delivering value that matches what you said you could do, that right there needs to be practiced. So this is why you don't want to go from 500 to 5,000, because you're still trying to figure out how to deliver $500 worth of value. Because it's one thing to be paid $5,000. The other half of that is being able to deliver $5,000 worth of value. And if you ask for 500, but you feel like you only delivered 300, you can't sell it again at 500. You won't be able to sell it again because your feelings were, well, I really tried hard, but I don't know if I gave them all their value. So you came up short. So you won't be able to sell it again for $500 because of that feeling. But when you can when you offer coaching and you can exceed what you offered it for, when you can exceed that, you'll be able to sell that again because you're confident in what you did. And that right there is what you're missing, is that confidence in yourself, in the way in which you're coaching people. And you can build that confidence, but you need to have more clients to practice with so that you can start to feel like what you're coaching on exceeds what the price is. So what I'm hearing is to go from 500 to 5,000, it is a big setup for a self-sabotage because you haven't practiced delivering $1,000 worth of value for $1,000 program and 2,000 and 2,500 and 3.
I apologize. What I meant to say is that I have a $500 package. Okay, that's my golden tier because I have 3 different packages that I offer to people. The thing is when I start talking to people that okay, I think you understand. I think you just mentioned, so basically if to get up to 5,000, I need to be able to get to connect with accepting 10 clients to accept for them and offering them those packages. But I kind of always want them to go on the gold package instead of the package that they want. Because I know that the value is much more impactful for the golden because I bring it all to them.
Do you feel like you exceeded the value of $500?
I really feel like it's worth more than that, honestly.
I did not ask that question.
Okay, go ahead.
This is really important that you listen carefully to what I'm saying, because this is a missing piece. And it's not just with you. I see this happen a lot. Do you feel like you exceeded the value of $500 through your coaching to that client?
No, I don't.
Okay. Thank you for being honest, because that's the only way we're going to figure this out, is if we're being honest. And so because you're feeling, here's $500, because your feeling of what you delivered on the $500 was less than 500, you won't be able to sell it for $500. Because your feeling about the program, or the feeling about you, because there's program and there's you. So there's program is $500. There's you. And you inside yourself have a personal value indicator. And if you feel that you were less than 500, and you're attempting to sell it for 500, those don't match. And so you won't talk about your program. You won't promote your program because your feeling of delivery and about yourself is lower than 500. So it's going to make it extremely difficult to sell it for 500. And then if you set a goal for 5,000, which is way up here, you for sure won't sell that because it doesn't match the value you feel like you deliver. So this is what you do. You need to do practice clients, or change your price to $300 and then do a $300 package and work at exceeding the value of 300. Because when you feel like you exceed the price you're offering it for, you will sell it over and over and over and over and over again. And you'll have happy clients and you will have consistent sales when you feel like you exceed the price for the program. Does that make sense when I say when you feel like you exceed the price of the program?
Yeah, so I need to go through like a journal entry to figure out on what other things that could be causing me to be stuck in the essence of feeling.
You need to do the work. You need to practice. You need to practice. You need more time coaching to build that self-belief through practice. That's why in the Coach Fast Track program, it is highly recommended to have coaching clients to practice with, because it builds self-belief. And when your self-belief about how you coach and what you're coaching, and when it exceeds what your price of your program is, you'll sell it over and over and over and over again, and you'll find people to coach. But that only comes from actual practice. You can't get it anywhere else. You have to be practicing in holding those appointments. And because of that experience, it builds that self-belief and that confidence in yourself. And when that exceeds your price of the program, when that builds, when your confidence is higher than the price, you'll sell it. You'll find people. People will come to you. But when your confidence level is below the price, you won't sell it, no matter how many people you talk to, because you know inside, I can't deliver that price in value. I can't do it.
Yeah, that's a really good point.
Yeah, this is exactly what I went through. Exactly what I went through. There's times where I raised my price for coaching and sales stopped. I could not find a client anywhere because the price went higher than my belief in myself. And I was like, oh no, what am I going to do? And so I started holding some practice clients. So like I had paid clients at $12,000. People would pay me $12,000, right? The $12,000, I could get yeses over and over and over and over again. But I moved my price up to $15,000. I bumped it up $3,000, and everybody I talked to was a no. I'm like, what is going on? And I realized I'm stuck at 12,000, and 15,000 was higher than what I thought I could deliver. So I'm like, okay, how am I going to do this? So then I found some people that I started coaching for free. They did not know what I was doing, but I was coaching them, and I was trying some higher level techniques that I wanted to add to my coaching. And I saw that they worked. And I was like, oh, I knew these work because I use them. And I'm like, this is what I want to add to my coaching. And because I saw that I could do this, my confidence in myself went up. And now I started getting yeses at 15,000. But confidence has to exceed the price of the program. I hope that wasn't too much to tell you.
No, I just want to be really like, based on my high levels of integrity and based on like the levels of my confidence, but I also want to be able to dish out as much as possible in a way that they feel that they are getting 3 times the amount that they paid for. And that's what I care about the most.
Good.
So
so the other side to this is in your personal life, setting goals and accomplishing those goals. Because you can work on your coaching confidence, but you also want to work on your personal achievements. So now I'm starting to give out like super deep secrets here. Okay. So this is like after the class when the cool secrets come out, but like you want to work on coaching confidence, but also personal achievements. So what you do in your personal achievements is set 7-day goals. 7-day goals, not 30-day goal, not 60-day, 7-day goals. What are you going to get done in 7 days? and bust it out. Because the last 10% before you get your goal, it's going to require some problem solving. And so you want to practice 7-day goals so you can build up your accomplishment energy. That in 3 weeks, you can say, I accomplished 3 goals. Because the more goals you accomplish personally, your vibration goes up because you're achieving what you said you would do.
See, that's the hiccup.
Why?
For me. Because I don't know, the
7-day goal or what?
No, it's been a very, very, very long time for me to achieve goals. I have goals that I've been trying to accomplish, but I never could.
Yeah, they're too big.
I know it's a language thing for me.
They're too big.
And it's a seeing thing for me.
They're too big.
But you know, I feel like achieving goals is probably one of the hardest things.
No, they're not.
For me.
No, they're not. No, I'm not buying your story. I'm sure that's a reality for you, but that's not
what it feels like.
It's fine if it's a reality for you, but I'm going to introduce to you a new reality that goal setting is something you need to learn how to do. You're still learning, but you're talking like you're condemning yourself because you can't do it. And you're still trying to figure out how to set goals. Let me give you some instruction. What you want to do is you want to set 7-day goals that are small, little tiny stretches. Something you can do, but just a tiny bit more. Tiny bit more. Because if you set goals that are way out there, you're going to frustrate yourself and discourage yourself. Discouragement is a heavy, heavy, heavy life-sucking energy. And if you keep setting yourself up for discouragement because the goals are too big, because you have high expectations, you get to bring that down to simple goals. It does not matter the size of goal. What matters is the setting of the goal and the do what it takes to get the goal. It can be so small. And you get the goal and you don't judge the size of the goal. If you do, you're already sabotaging yourself. The way I really amped up my life in personal achievements is I set the smallest, most ridiculous goals ever, and I got them. And because I could get the small ones, I then moved up to a little bit bigger ones. But you have to build that momentum with those small goals. I would rather you say, hey, Kirk, guess what? Like over the next 3 weeks, hey, Kirk, guess what? I got 3 goals. I'm be like, that's awesome, man. You will be different as a person. And I would never ask how big the goal was because it doesn't matter. What matters is you picked something and you did what it took to get it. So your personal achievement area of your life sounds like it's really low on energy. And so that's going to make it difficult to talk to people about coaching. So personal achievement is where you need to focus. So to set goals that are doable in 7 days. And you might say, well, I could just do it without setting a goal. Well, that would be missing the whole entire point. You say, I'm setting a goal by 7 days that I'm going to do this. And if you're thinking, well, I can already do it. Okay, well, then prove it. Get it done. Prove it. Prove it. Get it done in 7 days. And then when you get that one done, get another one. Then get another one done. Your personal achievement energy will go up. It's called accomplishment energy. And when you have accomplishment energy, every little bit that you have accomplishment energy building up, people will talk to you because they want accomplishments too. And they can feel from your vibe, you're accomplished. Now, you're going to think this is crazy, but some of my very, very, very first goals were get all the laundry folded in one weekend and not let it go clear into the next week. Sounds ridiculous. Sounds like a foolish goal to set. Like that's not really flashy to set a goal to get all the laundry folded. But to me, it was something doable. And I set the goal and I got it done. And I moved on to set my next goal, which is to have the dishes cleaned up every night. Then my next goal, walk around the house and pick up any trash every night to see if anything blew in the yard. These were very simple goals for 7 days. But I got them and I did it. I set it and I got it. And then as I started to accomplish these simple goals, they slowly started to increase because my confidence and belief in myself went up. It went up. So I could actually set a little bit bigger goals. And then a couple of those, I didn't make it. And it was like, oh man, I got to try that again. So I set the same goals for the next 7 days. But I was building my accomplishment energy from the ground up with small and simple steps that builds up to become accomplishment energy. So when I show my screenshot, when I show this screenshot right here, when I go here and I show this, nobody knows. Well, now you know, but nobody knows that this all started with my goal of folding laundry, my goal of doing dishes, my goal of picking up garbage around the house. And I don't say that to people because they'd be like, well, that's nothing. Because people judge other people's goals all the time. And it's like, don't judge my goals. I set them and I get them. And that's me. That's what I know about Kirk Duncan. But I started out ridiculously small because I was terrible at getting goals. I had never set a goal in my entire life until I was like, you know what? I've got to figure this out. And I started with these small, simple, ridiculous goals. Even setting a goal, go to bed by 10 o'clock. See if you can do that for 7 days. Or set a goal, get up by 6 o'clock. Or just set goals that are simple and doable, like so doable, but see if you can actually finish it after all the way through 7 days. Because the last 10%, there's going to be a wrestle. And you get to start learning how to problem solve in the last 10% so you get your goal done. So if you're coaching people how to set goals and you're not doing it, what are you doing? You need to get into this on your personal achievement and set goals that are doable and do them every 7 days. And you can have 2 or 3. You don't have to just do one. You can have 2 or 3 simple goals, but get into the goal accomplishment so you can build that accomplishment energy. Then you will set yourself better to be a coach that can help people accomplish their goals because you got started. And you got to get started as soon as possible with your 7-day goals. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Do you also recommend me to visualize what the 7-day goal would look like when it's accomplished?
Well, what's your goal?
Well, I have a lot of goals. Well, I need to change my goals now because I told you about the making $5,000 in a month, and making that to become lessened to something that's very maintainable. But it's first of all focus on what you said about doing the small things like folding laundry or cleaning the kitchen or stacking the silverware very, very neatly. So you're
in the phase right now of doing the simple. So and it's a 7-day goal. So whatever you pick, see yourself doing that work or that thing and practice imagining you actually doing the work. And it's you do it for 7 days, or by 7 days, it's actually finished. That practice gets to, if it's hard for you to imagine, you need to start out by writing out the description of what it's going to be like when you're done with the goal. When you're working with 7-day simple goals just to get the ball rolling, I didn't do much about visualizing because it was so simple, like to fold laundry. But I did write myself a note and say, get the laundry done. Like to remind myself, like, this is the goal, get it done. I did put notes out, but when I was in my 7-day phase of like, just get it done, get it done, get it done, set the goal, get it done, set the goal, get it done. I did not care what the size was. I was just picking goals, getting it done. And so I didn't do a lot of visualizing until the goals got bigger. And where it was like, whoa, this is getting big. Like, what am I, it's slowly growing, but it's like, I got to add visualization to it. At first, it was writing out, what am I going to do? And when am I going to do it by? So what am I going to do? When am I going to get it done by? And what's my steps between here and there to do it? What's the goal? What's the steps? What am I going to do? And so it was mainly like, just take action, get going. Okay, I got to run. Does this help?
Yeah, it does. Thank you.
Okay. To bring it back, there's coaching confidence and personal achievement. Coaching confidence comes from holding practice appointments because there's no dollar value to it. So you can build your credibility, build your confidence because it's practice. The only thing that they're sacrificing is time. So your goal is to make it worth their time to hold the appointment. There's no dollars added to it because if they paid you, that's time and money that you have to exceed. And so because you're doing practice clients, that gives you a chance to exceed the value of their time for what you're teaching them. So coaching confidence comes from hours of practice. Personal achievement means you setting goals and accomplishing those goals over and over and over and over and over again from now to the day you die. You stay in that goal setting and goal accomplishment mode so it can build. That accomplishment energy is going to serve you when you're talking to people because they'll sense, wow, there's something different about you, and they don't know what's the different, but you know what's different is because you have achievement energy, accomplishment energy. But you want to build that coaching confidence and that personal achievement. That's going to make the difference for you so you can exceed what the price of the program is. When you can deliver beyond what the price of the program is, you'll sell it over and over and over and over again.
And just keeping it real quick, because I know you need to go. What type of affirmation or declaration would you recommend to me, just with the conversation that we've been having, to, get my mind rolling?
Of course, there's lots of different things you can do to get your head straight. But I went into me and what's good for Kirk. And if I was in your shoes, knowing what I know, I would be saying to Kirk Duncan, set the goal, get the goal. I love goals. Set the goal, get the goal. I love goals. Set the goal, get the goal. I love goals. I would just get that mantra just moving through my head. Set the goal, get the goal. I love goals. So I can start to condition and train my brain that goals are just something we do. That's just our lifestyle. It's not some extracurricular activity that's an option. It's not an option. It's a lifestyle. And I want it to be a lifestyle. It's the way I live. That I can pick something that's impossible and I can get it. And so I want to get my head wrapped around it's a lifestyle to set goals, not just when I want to. So I want to train my brain with a simple mantra of pick a goal, get a goal. I love goals. So it's on my mind all the time.
Well, that's definitely a new thought. Never thought about that one before. I always consider it an option, not like a lifestyle.
Yeah. And that's why so many people struggle, is because they see goals as something optional if you want to. And it's like,
wow.
It's like, no, that's what we all are actually doing. Is we have a certain amount of income we want. Okay, we'll make a goal of that. This is so funny. It's like the idea of goals have just literally become an option. And that tells you where humanity's going. That people don't set goals. And that's why when you're out in the world and people are having problems, it's because they don't know how to set goals. They don't know how to supercharge their brain. They don't know how to keep their brain on track. So they don't control their mind. The lack of getting a goal is because of a lack of self-control.
Well, I believe that 100%.
When you have self-control, you can get a goal. So people are not setting goals. So what does that tell you? They're not working on self-control. And so when people don't work on self-control, they're going to have problems everywhere. Relationships, money, time, their sanity, their house is going to be a mess. They don't pick up after themselves. They don't take care of themselves. They let their mind go wherever it wants. They trash on themselves. They're negative. They get triggered by other people. They're emotionally unstable. So when people don't set goals, it tells you they're not working on self-control.
Well, that's definitely an aha moment for me. What you just brought up. So, because honestly, I never been taught as a child, or, my parents never taught me to have self-control. They never taught me. I had to figure it out on my own. I know that's weird, but
that's what's going on. And look at the world today. A lot of the problems we have in the world today is because somebody did not have self-control.
It's about taking ownership.
Self-control. To be able to control what you do and what you don't do. To be able to say go and be able to go. Be able to say stop and stop. To be able to actually have a brake pedal and a gas pedal and put your hands on the steering wheel of your mind. People today can't start and they can't stop and they don't steer their thoughts. It's like they literally are sitting in a vehicle that they're not driving and they're not touching the pedals. And that's why they drive off the road and crash every week. They don't start, they can't stop, and they don't steer. And that's why we have such reckless people in the world causing problems, and why people are triggered, why people are acting out against each other, why there's so many fights and arguments and people dying, is because people don't steer their mind and they don't run the gas pedal and the brake pedal. And that's not even talking about the shifter to shift up gears, but people want it, but they don't know how to do it. And so they don't realize that the secret to all of this is set a goal and see if you have self-control to get it. So the lack of getting a goal is the lack of self-control. So you want to test yourself. Set a 7-day goal and see if you have enough self-control to get it in 7 days. You'll be shocked to find out if you have self-control or not. Because when I first did it, I thought 7 days was going to be no problem. But on day 4, I already forgot what my goal was. And I forgot to fold the laundry. And I didn't get my goal. And I was so ticked. I was so mad that I couldn't even do a 7-day goal. It was a wake-up call, huge wake-up call of how out of control I was of my self-control. It's why people don't set goals, because they don't want to find out that they lack self-control. They don't want to know. But yet, if we had self-control, we would have the money we need. We would be the health that we want to be. We'd have the relationships that we want. We'd be connected to our higher power the way we want to be. We would be accomplishing our goals and living as a creator and feeling completely fulfilled about our life. It's amazing. What this all really comes down to is self-control. And then once you get self-control, then you start working on self-mastery. Then it's like, wow, I have self-control. What am I going to do with this? Now it's like, let's do some good in the world. Let's go do something. Let's go build something. Let's create something. Let's fix something. because now it's self-mastery. But you got to get self-control before you can get into self-mastery. So set 7-day goals and see if you can get them. And if you don't, well, the day you fall down and you don't do it, recommit to the same 7-day goal. The moment you fall on your goal and you don't get it, recommit to the same goal and go for it again. Don't change the goal until you get it. Don't just quit on the goal. That teaches your brain it's okay to quit. And remember, you're teaching your brain how to get goals. You're teaching your brain how to stay focused. You're teaching your brain how to stay on task. And sometimes it acts like a teenager or a toddler. And you got to train your brain to become an adult. Just because our bodies are an adult doesn't mean our brain is. Most people are still a teenager, even a 10 to 12 to 14-year-old kid inside their head. That's how they still see life and act about life. And they throw tantrums and they whine and moan and complain and just are so selfish. But most people are literally still an adolescent inside their mind, even though they're living in an adult body, but their brains is still stuck back then. And so you are teaching your brain how to get a goal, how to have self-control to get that goal. And it is gut-wrenching to find out that nobody's driving the brain. And there's no gas pedal, and there's no brake pedal, and there's no shifter. It's like, no wonder my life feels out of control, is because I'm not driving. And so you got to start practicing driving. So when you pick a goal, you now get to steer your mind at that goal and to watch out for the potholes and the big rocks and the fence post. You got to drive and navigate to that goal. But to get there. And if you fail, recommit to the same goal. And then if you fail again, recommit to the same goal. If you fail again, recommit to the same goal until you finally get enough control of your mind. You have to take over your mind because there's so much that's on autopilot. So much that's on autopilot. You don't even realize that it does whatever it wants to do whenever it wants to do it. We literally live with a lazy brain, but it is powerful beyond our belief when you actually use it. But if you don't run it, it'll just slip into doing nothing and putting things off and looking for comfort in every aspect of life, and then complains when something's a little difficult. Grab the steering wheel, put your foot on the gas, and tell your brain, in 7 days, this is what we're doing. And then see how the trip goes. And if you crash, okay, recommit, get back after it. But this is personal achievement work. And it's a huge back piece to the front of being a coach, is that you can do what you're teaching other people to do. And you can get it done in 7 days. You can set a 3-day goal. You could set a 24-hour goal. It could be any length of time you want. I'm just picking 7 days to start somewhere. I had a client one time. It's like, okay, we're doing 24-hour goals. We're going to see if you can do this within 24 hours. And they kept falling. They couldn't do it within 24 hours. But we kept at it. They accomplished the 24-hour goals. Then they started working on 3-day goals. And then we worked up to 7-day goals. And they just lit up with energy because they were gaining control of their mind. It was beautiful to see it happen. But we had to really break it down into small amounts of time to have a 24-hour goal. It was crazy. But keep it simple, keep it doable, but stay consistent with setting the goals. Write down your goal and stick it on the mirror. Don't just think of a goal. You have to write it, what you're going to do, and then write the date and the time it has to be done. or you'll come up with justification to move the goal around. You'll find your brain being very squirrely and really trying to justify it, to work it out so it works to its way of doing things, and it will justify like crazy. But write down what the goal is, what day you're going to do it, and by what time you're going to do it. And then just keep your seatbelt on for the last 10%. The brain, it's like a wild horse. And when you try to rein it in, it gets really close. And then it realizes you're about ready to put a saddle on it. And then it looks at you like, yeah, get on. I'm going to buck you off. And in the last little bit, it'll be like, no, I want to do whatever I want. And it will just go back to its old patterns. But it is a beautiful process to gain more self-control. It's beautiful. It's liberating. It's empowering to say, I do what I say I'm going to do. That's integrity. Self-control creates integrity. That you do what you said you're going to do when you said it was going to be done. That is the ultimate, is to live in complete integrity. That is a person to be counted on. That is a person who's powerful. That is a person I want to become. I want to become the person who, when I say something will be done, that it is done when I said it would be done. That I have that much self-control. That's what I'm striving for. That's what I'm struggling for, is to be like, okay, I said it would be done. Oh, crap, but I didn't do it. Okay, got to start back over. And then when I said it's going to be done, I get it done. It's like, yes, I got it done. But I want to be the kind of person that what I say is done when I said it would be done. And I want to be that kind of trusted person. But I've got my own journey. Like we all have our journey. But I want more control over myself in how and when I do things. And not to overcommit, not to exaggerate or embellish things, but to be more absolute, accurate, precise, more, I'm just going to use the word clean. Like everything is just crystal clear. Crystal clear. I really believe that our mind opens up for massive intuition when we're like that. Okay, now I really got to go. Got to go talk about living my word. I got to run. Okay, thanks, Joseph.
Thank you, Kirk.
Yeah.
Appreciate that. Really.
Yeah.
Kind of like an answer to my prayer. I really appreciate that.
Okay, and just remember, it's possible. Just remember, you're about ready to try to lasso a wild horse right now when you're going to set a goal. And your brain's like a wild horse, and it's like, hold on, man. It's like, but if you fail, which you'll fail, I failed hundreds and hundreds of times setting goals. But I knew I had to figure it out. Ugh, I had to figure it out and get more self-control. So if you fall, you fail, or you crash, just go, okay, Kirk does this too. He crashes. Okay, let's get back at this. Let's do it again. Let's do it again. Let's do it again. Do it again. Do it again. Do it again until you finally get some more control of your brain and make some progress. But don't be mad at yourself because, like you said, you weren't taught. But at least now you know, and now you can start. What a great day. A great day to find out and a great day to start.
And give my self a benefit of the doubt that I can have grace and I can allow myself to forgive myself.
Yeah.
Even if things are uncomfortable. And yeah. So.
Yeah. Good?
Yep. Thank you, Kirk. I really appreciate that.
You're awesome, man. Thanks for, I glanced at the chat and everybody's grateful for our conversation. So you and I just opened up a great conversation and people got a lot of insights and gold nuggets from that. It's very cool. Hey, big hugs to you and big love to you, and stick with it. Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
All right. Love you, big guy. See ya.
Okay. Love you too. Bye-bye.
Okay, everybody. Thank you for showing up today. I just huge gratitude for technology so we could be together and I could share. If you want coaching, if you want to be around me, you want help, you want to be around people who think this way, we're living this way, we're being this way, this is the kind of thing to get into, right? It's like we're 3 key elements, my team, myself. This is what I do all day long. And this is how I think and where I'm going. And if this can serve you and this can be there for you, find a way to work with us. Find one of our programs that fits what you're doing so you can work with us. There's different ways to work with us, but schedule a call and find out about the Coach Fast Track program. And if it's not a fit, ask about the other programs we have, or ask about working with me. Like, let's work together. That'd be so awesome. I would love to work with you. I would love to serve you and help you in what you're doing and where you're going, and would love to work with you. And so if it's the Coach Fast Track program or breakthrough coaching or working with me, whatever it is, but make this phone call and talk to one of us here on our team and find out what we're doing so you can plug in and be part of what we're doing. So you can be part of the energy and the motivation and the direction, the clarity we have. And so we can like really move you forward in such a big way. Cool? Because we know how to do this. All right. Love you guys. Thank you for being here and have a super day. And I hope I get to spend more time with you later. All right. Awesome. Thanks, you guys. Bye.